All right, guys, we are going to do two problems today where we talk about the difference of two squares. Okay, here is that if you want to copy that down. Okay, if you are needing to factor a different way, guess what? I'm going to link some videos right over there for you to check those out if you need to before or after this. All right, so what are we doing here? Okay, the difference of two squares. We are factoring, right? To be honest, if you forget this after your test, it's okay. But don't tell anybody I said that, okay? Because all of these you can factor the way you've probably been factoring, okay? Where we, hold on, where's my card? Oh, here it is. Okay, we're fine. So if you have something like this, this is one that you can use the difference of two squares on, okay? But if you forget about it, like I have before, guess what? You can just pretend that there's a plus 0x there because there can be, because you're adding 0x's and that's fine. And then you just factor it like normal. -4 times 1 gives me -4. If you're like, what is she talking about? Check out those other factoring videos. -4 times 1 gives you -4. You look for two factors that multiply to -4 and add to 0. So it would be -2 and 2. Okay. Basically, that's what the difference of squares, two squares, is doing. It just takes out those steps. It's just like notices it from the beginning. Okay. So what does this look like? Okay. When you're doing a difference of two squares, you just kind of notice, oh, hey, this one, I can use this on because it's only on certain ones you can use it, okay? So basically I noticed that I can rewrite this as x squared minus 3 squared, right? Because 9 is 3 squared. Now does that kind of look like this? A number squared or a variable squared minus a number squared, okay? So then I just take the first one, add the second one, multiply it by the first one minus the second one, okay? So it's going to look like this. X plus 3 times x minus 3. And guess what? You're done. What? That's it? That's it. Okay. Really quick thing to mention is this is called the difference of two squares for a reason. Okay. If you have something that looks like this, you might be like, oh, sweet. X minus 5, x plus 5, right? Ooh, not quite, because this is a plus, okay? If it was a minus, you're awesome. Plus, this is not factorable until you start learning about imaginary numbers, okay? So, right now, probably you haven't learned about those yet, so this is not factorable. The difference of squares does not apply to it, okay? But they're being subtracted, you're golden. Okay, now what about when we have a number in front of this x squared? Well, as long as it is able to be square rooted nicely, that probably wasn't the best term to use. Anyways, let me show you what I mean. So 9 is the same as 3 squared, right? 9 equals 3 squared. And 4 equals 2 squared, right? So I can write 9 as 3 squared, and then I have the x squared. So I can write that as 3x squared, right? Because this will equal this. Minus 4 is 2 squared. Now are we looking like this? Yes, we are. So I'm just going to write this as 3x plus 2 times 3x minus 2. Now, always and forever, you can always multiply these back out and make sure you get this, okay? Always do that just to make sure. Also, that is your answer if you are asked to factor. If you are asked to solve, it's just one more step, okay? Remember, a lot of times when we're factoring, we don't write what this is equal to. We just, I don't know why, save writing. I don't know, but it is equal to 0. Okay, if you don't have an equal sign, if they're not writing one, it's going to be equal to 0. So if you're asked to solve, they'll probably have the equal 0 there for you. But anyway, once we factor this, it is still set equal to 0. Now, if you are asked to solve, that means they want to know what x is. You just set each parenthesis set equal to 0. So I've got x plus 3 equals 0, x minus 3 equals 0. So I'm going to subtract 3 from both sides, get x equals negative 3. Add 3 to both sides, get x equals 3. You can always plug those back in, make sure your answer is 0. Okay, same thing over here. This is equal to 0, so these are equal to 0. So then I get 3x plus 2 equals 0, and 3x minus 2 equals 0. And I can go ahead and solve those. So I've got subtract the 2 from both sides. 3x equals negative 2. Divide the 3 off. So I get x equals negative 2/3. There's one. Other one. Add 2 to both sides. 3x equals 2. Divide the 3 off. X equals 2/3. Okay. Like I said, the difference of two squares is awesome. It saves you time. But if you forget about it, just do it the old-fashioned way. Okay? All right. Go ahead and get your homework done and have dreams of math that aren't nightmares.